Hi, friends. This is Shiny from Whispers and Fringes. This week's question is: what is the most impactful sermon you've ever heard and why? For me, that sermon came from my home church. The text for the sermon was from Proverbs 18:21, and it says, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." I had heard this verse spoken over me since I was a child, but this time was different. During the sermon, our pastor referenced an experiment that was done in Japan. The researcher collected several different water samples across the country. The water was then placed in a jar and labeled with a word. This word was spoken over the water multiple times a day for a period of time. The water was then frozen and examined under a microscope. The samples that had positive words spoken over them, such as beautiful or lovely, had organized and structured crystals when viewed under the microscope. Order and beauty were demonstrated in their formations. The water that had negative words spoken over it yielded chaotic and crazy formations under the microscope. Y'all, water makes up 60% of our body chemistry. What was I doing to myself with my words? What was I doing to other people with what I was saying to them? This challenged me to the core. Do I want to bring chaos or do I want to bring peace? I needed to reframe how I spoke to myself and how I spoke to others. I had an opportunity to put this into practice shortly after hearing it. Our family went through a trial, and I knew God was asking me, are you going to speak words of life or words of death over this situation? It wasn't just about speaking blind positivity, but it was about speaking what God says, His words, His promises over me and my family. I want to challenge all of you today in the same way I was challenged that Sunday to speak words of life over all that you can and watch how God takes hold of our chaos and turns it into beauty.